Good day to everyone.
Yes, it is. It's a good day. How is everybody?
Oh
Welcome to day 12.
Day 12. What's our topic, baby? You like that one? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, everybody remembers that, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
We're going to be talking about how to have effective communication, especially in the midst of struggles,
Yeah.
so that you can be heard and recognize that things will get better.
Yep.
So
I am your bliss doctor, helping you find your bliss.
And I am your personal communication coach, helping you to eliminate your negative limiting beliefs so you can create a life of bliss you want and deserve.
That you want and deserve.
Those are the key words right there.
Oh, that's powerful. That's powerful.
We hope you've been joining us on this journey.
We've been having a ball. And
what do we got? We got, was it 19 more days to go?
We're on the way. We are on the way.
Yes. If you missed the previous ones, go back and watch them and comment on them, because we do go back and look at the comments.
And send us questions, comments.
Yeah. And I'm going to say in the beginning, so don't forget at the end, baby, if you like what you hear, please share it.
That's right.
Follow us and help us build a community that will support you in your journey to bliss and your journey to better communication.
And they can like our Facebook business page. MyBlisstopia.com.
Then you can learn more about our events that we have coming up.
Breakthrough the Bliss is what we're doing this entire month.
Oh my gosh.
And we're going to end,
with 3 days.
3 days free virtual
training.
Yes. Absolutely.
Actually, it's more of an event, a virtual event.
Yeah.
So that we can wrap up, summarize, tie it up in a nice bow for you so you can watch it again and again.
And move forward and continue with us.
Yeah.
We thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
But when we talk about, can you hear me now? What does that really mean?
Oh, well, let me give you some examples. This week, we've had our own struggles. We are human. We're not superhuman. But because we built a good foundation, we communicate through things, and we both support each other in what we're trying to communicate. So earlier this week, should I talk about the video camera? So we were getting ready for one of our posts, and Stephen knows that if you push the holder for the phone camera the wrong way, it could break. And so he's he tells me, don't touch it. You got to turn it this way. I'm like, baby, I know. But it really upset me. And I had to take a step back. And my way of dealing with things is I first think about, why did that hurt me so? Before I bring it to him. His way of dealing with things, which was, I was trying to help him with something, and I wanted to stop him from doing it his way and wanted it to be my way, and that bothered him. And he immediately tells me what's wrong. But in either way, we bring it to each other. And I was so glad that we have a communication that you can tell me when things are not right and how it makes you feel. And I can do the same to you. And that's the first thing you got to do. You got to speak it. If you keep it internal, how can it ever get solved?
It just kind of festers and grows, and then your imagination takes a hold of it and blows it out of proportion, makes it worse than it is. And when you hold on to things like that, you become reactionary to things around you because you have so much inside, whether it's hurt, disappointment, feeling like you're not valued. It really makes a big difference when we say, "Can you hear me?" I guess the new, it's not so new now, but the saying is, "Can you feel me?"
Can you feel me?
Can you feel where I'm coming from?
And that's the second part. You got to express your feelings, not a blame or a pointing at the other person. It's, I felt like you were accusing me of something, or I felt like you were calling me stupid, or I felt like you were disregarding my knowledge. But you got to express that feeling.
Right. In a non-accusatory way. So it's kind of like, where it's not you make me feel, it says I feel this way when this happens, or when this is said, because that's where the communication begins to break down. It feels like you're pointing fingers, and we're really not pointing. We're not trying to point fingers, but sometimes you don't know how not to point fingers.
Right.
Is we're stuck in a pattern because we've been taught for so long someone needs to be to blame for this problem,
Right.
and it can't be me.
Right. And when you feel that way, you may need help
Mm-hmm.
to communicate clearly,
Mm-hmm.
because that gets to escalate.
Yep.
And you have to have some way to break that pattern.
Learning how to release it.
Right. And either you might bring it up later on,
Mm-hmm.
and talk to a coach, a personal
Right.
communication coach, or a therapist,
Mm-hmm.
and work it out, and maybe even role model it before you do it, so that you can come at it a different way. And that's the key. If you do what you've always done, you're going to get the results you've always gotten. So you got to come at it. You got to break the pattern and come at it a different way, and keep trying it until something sticks and works.
Yeah. And it takes time. And don't think it's all going to happen the first time out, or you get it right the second time, but just keep working at it and keep discussing it, and keep learning, keep adding more information to your arsenal, so that when situations arise, you have more resources at your disposal.
Right.
And that's what I think is one of our biggest assets, is that we continue to gain more information. We constantly read, we constantly study, we
share and discuss when we're not angry,
and go to seminars. And I mean, just, you really have to keep working at life, if you want it to get better.
Yeah. So the first one was bring it up and talk about it. Second one is have your feelings. The third one goes a little bit deeper, because most people might stop at the first one, or they may stop at the second one. When you get to the next one is, what is the underlying issue? Because I got upset about the camera, and I could get upset about something else. But what is it about that situation? Now, this is where it gets deep, and you have to sit in it.
Why do I
feel that
react
that way? Because that is where the breakthrough happens. Because then you can say, and if I can communicate that to him, this is how I feel when that happens, then he can try something different, and I can recognize and try something different. And that's where we're going to understand better. There's a deeper understanding to share and open up. That's that vulnerability side. Maybe something happened in your past that you haven't dealt with.
Right. And then there may be some repetitive things that have happened to you in that same manner. And therefore, whenever it rears its ugly head, you snap, you react, I remember years ago, they called it the I ain't gonna nevers. It was, I was treated wrongly, but I ain't gonna never let that happen again. And when it happens again, I mean, you go back to that place of rage, you go back to that place of upset, you go back to that place of disappointment, being disappointed and feeling disrespected. And so learning how to uncover what some of those I ain't gonna nevers no more, I ain't gonna never be hurt like that. I ain't gonna never be called stupid again. I mean, so those are kind of things where we react instead of look at what's in front of us and respond.
And as a partner, being able to understand that's where they're coming from and not take it personally. Understand where they're coming from and don't take it personally. Now, I might initially take it personally, but then I have to remember, he told me that's how he felt. And then I can come at it a little bit differently and even apologize a lot easier. A lot of times we don't want to apologize. And that's that next one. I want to recognize the pain that my partner or the person who's communicating with me is sharing with me, and recognize that that's a gift and that they are being vulnerable with me. And I don't want to break that because they may not ever do it again.
That's right.
So if I'm supportive and say, I'm not trying to not justify what you're feeling. I understand it hurts you when I do this. I didn't intend to hurt you. I can apologize for that and own what I did. Own it 100%. That's part of it. A lot of times people tell you something and you're like, well, if you hadn't did such and such, I would have done such and such. That's not owning it.
Yeah.
That is not owning it. And people then feel like they're not heard and they won't speak we won't speak it again. We were just gonna like, oh, that didn't work. That didn't feel good. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
But that's where someone who's in your community, your partner, your family member really comes through. And you'll see when you have those types of conversations, those conversations are powerful and you never forget them when that happens. And then the last one is take a different action. Summarize, okay, babe, I recognize that I hurt you when I interrupted and didn't understand what you were asking or what you were about to do, and I shut you down. I will try to remember that, and I will start asking better questions. I will not make assumptions, things like that. I can say what I can do, and then the other person would then say what they can do differently.
That's so important, is what can you do to make the situation better? Because we're always full of a lot of advice how everybody else can make our life better. But what can you do in that moment to make your life better? What can you do to improve the situation or the communication? And when we approach it like that, we get out of the victim end of the spectrum and begin to be proactive and solution oriented, and knowing that and open to the possibilities for change, open to positive change. A lot of times we have rehearsed the negative outcome so much. Have you ever talked to somebody and you made a suggestion? Oh, I tried that. That don't work. They all already have came to a conclusion. They tried it. I don't know, maybe once, maybe twice, but they are convinced that if they try it again, we're going to get the exact same outcome. Maybe you can try it just a little bit different and expect a different outcome.
Oh yeah, try it a different way. That's what we said. I mean, it all comes together, and this makes it powerful. And it isn't going to stop just because you had one conversation. So don't think that we're saying that,
right.
But it will get better.
Yes, it will.
It will get better. And then the next time it happens, you can say, remember when we talked about such and such? That happened again right now. And just remind them gently.
Right. And over time, it can be fun. A lot of times we'll just make games out of it,
You call it game. I call it another language.
Yeah, it's another language. It's like, but you practice and you practice and you become better.
Yeah.
And that's what life is about. I mean, enjoying your bliss today and having more bliss tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Because I am your bliss doctor, helping you find your bliss.
And I am your personal communications coach, helping you to create a life of bliss that you want and deserve. So until we see you again next time, we're in Ohio this time, and the next couple we're going to probably be separate because he's going to go back. I'm hanging here to help my family deal with the COVID situation. And life happens while you're having fun.
That's it. All right, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Namaste.